If you want to encourage great writing, you need to employ great writing prompts. But what makes a great writing prompt? There are many important considerations when assigning writing topics in terms of both content and process, but three things I've found have consistently helped my students compose original, thoughtful prose. My writing prompts work best when they're unique, immersive, and uncomfortable. Let me briefly explain all three concepts. A unique writing prompt doesn't merely ask a question that can be answered by consulting the appropriate texts and summarizing their information. That's what tests and quizzes are for. Authorship demands thoughtful interaction with concepts and their context. It should demonstrate that a student has reflected on the material and how it applies to them or to their budding careers. So instead of, "What is X?" we might ask something more interesting. "In light of X, how do your views change about Y?" Immersive writing prompts likewise involve the writer at an individual level. They ask writers to inhabit a persona that may or may not reflect their own or their main way of identifying. Much like reading a story or playing a character in a video game, people are more invested and adept at making appropriate rhetorical moves when they know what role they're playing as writers. Am I a bench scientist? Am I a field geologist? Am I a character from a Jane Austen novel? These considerations can heavily alter the way written work turns out. While many people report being uncomfortable while writing, the previous two criteria suggest I'm getting at something different when I say a writing prompt should be uncomfortable. Just as we want to make students play a well-defined role as authors, it's also useful to make them step outside of the roles they've previously occupied. Things they already know are useful, but true reflection is more likely to happen when writers are asked to synthesize new knowledge with the pre-existing, new ideas that challenge their current ways of thinking. This leads not just to understanding a subject, but to altering worldviews, however subtly. It is important as a writer to not only learn a thing, but to absorb it and to let it merge with what we already thought we knew, and to invite others to do the same. And this is the point of writing, isn't it? To invite others into our minds, to share ideas, and incorporate those of others, thus causing us to grow both as individuals and as a community. Writing is very much like a conversation, but like any actual conversation, if we ask boring questions, we're apt to receive boring answers.